Okay, everybody, here we go. It's me, Gregory Mannarino. Wednesday, July 17, 2024. Post-market report. A lot of stuff to cover here, people. Look, my job, the only reason I'm here for one reason, and that's the truth. That is to keep all of you as far ahead of the curve as I am possibly able to do, and then some. Okay. And that's really what what it's all about here to me is trying to allow people to realize what's happening to them. And there are some that no matter I mean, it's just too much here. But it's too easy to understand. Now, I want to cover a few things with you. So let's just start off with this market. A new record for the Dow Jones Industrial Average. However, the NASDAQ got hit pretty good. People, this is a gift. This is a gift. I am shocked, really, honestly, well, maybe not, that it took this long to see some kind of a drop in one of the major averages here. They all need to drop. They all need to drop 5, 6, 7, 10, maybe even 15%. 20% would be even more beautiful. Again, as long as this trend continues, I'm going to keep showing you this. This is the MMRI right at the market close. Again, Mannarino Market Risk Indicator, link in the description of this video. What we're witnessing here is massive dollar devaluation by the Fed. This is what's going on here. This is what the Fed has done just since February to the money supply. It's being ballooned. It's being ballooned in an environment where the economy is getting slower and slower and slower and slower. Jeffrey, thank you. I'm glad you bought today, bro. We all need to be buying here. So look, this mechanism of dollar devaluation here, again, the more currency that the Federal Reserve or any central bank creates, the more it dilutes, it steals the purchasing power away. The fact is that what we're witnessing here with regard to the MMRI, the key calculations of the MMRI are the US dollar and, of course, the 10-year yield, which is the benchmark. When I tell you there's an epic amount of debt being bought here by the Federal Reserve, we're watching what's happening to the yield curve, the 10-year yield dropping. This mechanism, again, is maintaining a risk-on environment, meaning opening that doorway wider and wider and wider for cash to make its way into the stock market. But there must be some profit taking, okay? And then you establish a new floor. This is how it works. Let me just show you. Like, we've gone straight up pretty much for almost 8 weeks now since the last pullback. We need a drop to a new floor, up, drop, establish a new floor, and we are going to make a much bigger move higher. Now, there's a lot playing into that. I don't make this stuff out of nothing. I don't come up with this stuff because I'm, looking into a crystal ball. It's too simple. If we realize that the mechanism of currency devaluation, massive asset purchases by the Federal Reserve, and this is not going to stop. Expect this to get much more dramatic moving forward. Let me say this. The Federal Reserve is right now directly involved with managing the debt market to an extreme order. And this has been the theme with regard to central banks for quite a long time, since the meltdown in 2008. This whole thing ended. They're just pumping this. Bitcoin, I'll answer your questions later here, but forget about it. Bitcoin isn't even close to topping out here, especially in light of where we're going to be going. So my recommendation is, first of all, always do your own homework here, people. Buy everything right now. This is whatever happens, any drop in the stock market, any drop in the price of commodities, of course, gold, silver, and yes, cryptocurrencies, crude oil, which did really well today. This is a gift. Anyway, so as I said, Dow, new record high, NASDAQ pullback. It needs to fall more, in my view. I would like to see another 2, 3, 4, 5%. I mean, first of all, look, there's no connection to reality anymore. Unlike Jim Cramer, who said that the stock market reflects the reality of the economy. You can't make that up. I don't care if you're brain dead. You couldn't make that. There's no connection here, and Jim knows it. He's just here to sell you a lie, of course. Um, but anyway, you got silver today that got hit pretty good. Buy it. Gold relatively flat. Bitcoin, crypto didn't do too much today. Crude oil, bang, 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 going up here again. Dollar devaluation. I've been telling you this for I don't know how long, but we haven't even seen people what's coming with regard to dollar devaluation, with regard to asset purchases by the Federal Reserve, with regard to what's about to happen, with regard to the corporate, to help fulfill the corporate agenda. Look, let me say this. We, you and I, and Mitch knows what I'm talking about here. We have been discussing what the facts are with what is coming here. We have been told repeatedly by soon to be President Trump here about the corporate tax rate. Now, this is today from the Financial Express here, and it's pretty much getting covered everywhere. Trump is promising a corporate tax rate of 15% if elected. We mean selected, right? Yvonne, thank you. As president here. Now, this write-up on the, I want to give you a perspective on this because this person who wrote this, Sunil, I'm sorry, I'm going to destroy your last name, Duwan here. You did a really nice job in putting this into a perspective. And I want to cover this for you. Now, look, is greed good is the question. You have to understand how this works. Everything has to be a balance in life across the board. Once that balance gets thrown off, things turn very, very ugly, okay? Now, with regard to this, again, a lot of people, and I assume Trump believes in trickle-down economics. I am not a proponent of trickle-down economics at all. I think the wealth is always pushed up. It gets stolen out of everybody else. And just, again, look, what Trump is doing here is, again, look, is this going to create jobs? I guess that's what a lot of you are thinking. Yeah, I believe this will create jobs. Is it going to be able to make up for the massive deficit that we've had now? Are these going to be exceptionally high paying jobs where people are going to all of a sudden turn around and be able to survive? And I don't think so either here. But what this is going to do, okay, on top, look, this is making the corporate insiders literally foam is pouring out of their mouth. Now, let me show you why here. So what this comes down to, and here's the breakdown. So if in fact Trump is selected, and I think it's a lock of locks right now, the man's saying all the right things to get himself reselected here. And the Fed is loving this. Anyway, so this 15% corporate tax rate would, okay, give the largest 100 companies, the Fortune 100, a total estimated annual tax cut of $48 billion. Now, they reported a $1.1 trillion profit in their last annual report. So that's not enough. A $1.1 trillion profit for the Fortune 100 was not enough for them to, I guess, hire some more people. They need to get a 15% corporate tax rate here. The 10 of the largest U.S. companies alone, okay, I won't name them here unless you want me to, including some of the major banks here, estimated tax cut of $23 billion. They reported more than $520 billion in profit. That wasn't enough. They need the 15% tax rate. Give the 5 largest oil companies, which include ExxonMobil, Chevron, Marathon, Petroleum, ConocoPhillips, Phillips 66, Valero Energy. Their estimated tax cut would be only $2.5 billion. Okay, but they reported $90 billion in profits. Now, the 5 largest drug makers would now be able to pocket $3.1 billion, and again, they reported over $50 billion in profits in that last annual report. Goes on and on here. Obviously, this is greed to the highest order. I do not believe trickle-down economics works. Trump obviously does. Maybe smarter than I am. I do not think this is going to really benefit people in the way. I don't believe this is going to help out. I really, really do not. Because, again, we're going to see currency devaluation. It's not going to stop. and obviously asset purchase that this is something that you and I have been talking about for a very, very long time. Now I want to discuss something even further with you. So this apparent guy here who's at the top of the list for President Trump's Treasury Secretary here. You probably heard about this guy, Scott Bessent here. I want to give you a little background on this guy. Here's a picture of him in case you want to know what he looks like here. Doesn't matter what he looks like. But he came out today saying this, that it's absurd to think Trump's policies would be inflationary. Look, we're getting more inflation. No matter what, we're getting more dollar devaluation. We're getting more asset purchases by the Federal Reserve, which in itself, this revolving door. Again, no one's going to tell you this, not even this guy as Treasury Secretary, if he gets selected by Trump. We need to talk a little bit more about this guy, just to give you a heads up as to why we're about to see corporate profits and this stock market go parabolic. Okay, if this guy is Trump's selection here, I know a lot of you have already sent me a lot of very negative things about this guy. Now, I'm not saying you're wrong. I just want to outline all right, we'll talk about this in a second here. But, look, we can't escape this, and it has nothing to do with Trump. Okay, we've watched, look, the last 3 presidents have, again, done one thing collectively. One thing and one thing only collectively. I'm talking about Biden, I'm talking about Trump, and I'm talking about the other thing, Obama. Okay, what have they done? They've taken the national debt and more than doubled it. What that in effect has done has vaulted the Federal Reserve to the, bar none, strongest institution on the planet. Okay, the more debt a central bank issues, is called on to issue, or anything else, makes them exponentially more powerful. Not just, it's not linear, it's almost straight up. Now, going back to this guy here, first of all, let me say this. I have something to say after I talk about this guy. Again, I don't know how many of you brought this to my attention with regard to this guy, but I want to read this to you so you can get a handle on this. So this guy, this is an ex-Soros guy. In fact, he's being called a protege of George Soros. I don't know how many of you think too fondly of George Soros, but ex-Soros investing chief, this guy, Scott Bessent, is betting on a Trump rally ahead of the selection. He wrote election here. I mean, come on now. This pullback is going to lead to this market vaulting much higher. Anyway, so George Soros protege and billionaire hedge fund manager Scott Bessent says any new Trump tariffs would obviously be phased in. Hedge fund managers, this guy, Scott Bessent, viewed as in the running short list to become the Treasury Secretary during Trump's second administration here. How many of you believe that we need another multi-billionaire, in this case, an ex-Soros right-hand man, to lead the people into another state of absolute destruction? Look, this guy is so connected right into the heart of the corporate agenda, the insiders, that you can't possibly imagine. If you think that this guy is going to look out for your best interest as Treasury Secretary under Trump, I think, honestly, you need to have yourself checked into a mental institution today, not tomorrow. You can see this setup here. All right. We got Trump now saying, okay, he's going to let Powell, creature, vomitous mess, puke. I can't stand the thing is a thing. It's not even a human being. You all know my take on Powell and the Federal Reserve. Day one, if Trump had 1 ounce of guts in him, okay, fire them all. Okay. Powell serves at the pleasure of the president. Fire them all. He won't do it. He won't do it because, again, he needs them to support the agenda, and they need him to support the agenda. This is a mutual agenda. Here's a piece of it as well. Okay, this guy here. Now, let me just say this real quick. I could think of one guy who would be the best Treasury Secretary this country has ever seen, and you're looking right at him. Okay, any of you out here think that I would make a good Treasury Secretary? I think I'd be the best that you've ever seen. in the history of this nation. I can tell you that that's the truth here. So you like Trump? You like him? You think he should? You think he should have a real guy who I would help him out? Okay, I don't think there's many. There's a fraction of the people on this planet that really do understand the financial system to the degree that we do. Not just me. This is our thing, and I believe sincerely that I would make the best Treasury Secretary ever, and I'd make a difference. I'd make a positive difference. There's just no doubt about it. Mitch believes that too, and all of you. Most of you probably would believe that. We don't need a guy like this. We don't need an ex-Soros, multi-billionaire, freaking hedge fund manager who's got all the inside connections. Do we need this guy? Really? Is this what we need? Do you think Trump, I hope that Trump does not select this guy. And I'm going to tell you right now. Is it going to be some other creature then? Probably. But I think this guy might be the worst. If this guy makes it in, if you believe that there's going to be any hope left, well, you got something else coming to you, people. Anyway, look, with regard to the corporate agenda, all right, the corporate agenda is going to be fulfilled at the cost of you and I, okay? But again, if we can play the game, and I'm telling you right here and right now that nobody plays the game better than you and me. It's fact. That's a fact. I don't care where you want to look. Look on the mainstream media. Look through every freak on YouTube, including this freak you're sitting at right now. 96% of the stuff that we've covered here has all happened and is happening now. It's not because we're smarter than anybody else. Or this guy, I'm not smarter than anybody. I'm probably the dumbest guy in the room compared to all of you that are sitting here. I just make it my business to understand what's really happening, who's actually running the show. You understand? It certainly isn't the Bidens. It certainly isn't going to be the Trumps or the Bessons. I'm saying this guy right here, Scott. I don't know, whatever. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we need these two guys to tag team the United States. And all of a sudden, we're going to reach a utopia. Maybe the middle class is going to be vaulted into a new state of prosperous. They're going to become the most prosperous people on the face of the earth. And you really think that's going to happen? Well, I would have to say no. And I think, unfortunately, that unless we take the right steps here to protect ourselves, look, is greed good? If we know that there are people out here, and I would include this guy, that want to see us dead and destroyed and become slaves to the system, then we need to utilize every resource that we possibly can find and dig things up that maybe we haven't even thought of yet, okay, to keep ourselves on the right side of this thing, this free fall economy. This is no accident. And this is also, again, not a phenomenon. Stop thinking inside the box that this is a United States issue and it's the fault of Biden. This is a lie. This is a worldwide event. And all of our world leaders, including this one, are all responsible for the state of affairs that we are in right now. Okay. If you, again, are looking for a saving grace, you got to save yourself. And we got to take care of ourselves and the people that we care about. And that includes all of you here. Okay, this is a family. Someone got kind of upset when I had put out, a couple of people got upset, actually. I had put out a question. Do you like shaved Greg or unshaved Greg? How is this relevant? I got. You know why this is relevant? Because this is a family. This is a family to me. And if either you can be a part of this family, you are free to go. All right. If you don't consider yourself a part of a worldwide family, part of my family, please unsubscribe right now. Okay. This is a family, and you and I have built this. Okay. And we're making a positive difference in this world. I know we are, because I hear from people. Anyway, so as you can see, so far, it looks like we're pretty close. I let it grow in a little bit. We'll see where it goes. But I mean, we're almost neck and neck. Should Greg grow a scruff or should Greg be clean shaven? Maybe I'll alternate. I don't know. It was just something I threw out there because I really do want to hear from you, all of you. But anyway, as I was saying, we're being given a gift here. And I'm look, I hate to be on the same bandwagon as a guy like this who's a multi-billionaire hedge fund manager. But what is he saying? This Trump rally is being brought forth by what we're about to see. Oceans and walls and mountains of more debt being piled on the backs of all of us here. Do you think that this mechanism is going to change? Honestly, when we get a new figurehead to sit behind the Resolute desk, all of a sudden central banks are going away here? I don't think so. They're going to continue to inflate. We're going to see massive dollar devaluation. We're going to see a lot more asset purchases by the Federal Reserve. Not one time during, so far at least, and maybe I'll be wrong on this, and he had an amazing opportunity to tell us all the truth. Did Trump tell us who the real enemy is? He's willing to let Powell finish his tenure here. And then what? What other nightmare are we going to get after that? Someone like this as a Treasury Secretary? I want to get a vote going on here. Do you believe that we need an ex-Soros protege as Treasury Secretary, a multi-billionaire hedge fund manager? Do we need that? Is this what you foresee as helping you as an American citizen? Jeff, thank you. CA, thank you for that too. Do you feel that that's what we need? Honestly, do we need that? I don't think so. I personally think we need a guy like myself. It doesn't have to be me. I think I'd be a fantastic Treasury Secretary. And I don't know, a lot of you guys follow Donald Trump. Write to him. See, I'll do it for free. I won't take a dime. Not one single cent would I take. My entire salary as Treasury Secretary will be donated to charities that you tell me to donate it to. You guys and girls will choose who benefits from my salary as Treasury Secretary. I'll do it for nothing. That's how that's my take on it, people. Anyway, that's, look, we need to take this opportunity again. We are about to see debt skyrocket. We're about to see a stock market and the corporate agenda be fulfilled on a scale that you're not going to believe. They're not profitable enough. The trillions of dollars. Again, think about this. The largest, the Fortune 100 company, last annual report, 1.1 trillion in profits. That's not enough. They need more, and they want this 15% rate. And Trump promises to give it to them because he believes in trickle-down economy. The only trickle-down you're going to feel is urine going down the back of your neck. That's what you're going to feel as trickle-down. You understand? Or on your face. We are done as a people at so many levels because we're being divided. We're watching what's happening here. It's an insane situation, unfortunately. But again, people, look, the opportunities are everywhere. If we realize that we're going to see a vast expansion of debt, what are you going to do about it? Nothing. You're going to sit back in some corner and suck your thumb. You're going to be buying commodities across the board because they're going to be on sale. Okay, they're going to go on sale more. If you think the dollar is going to be devalued further, all of a sudden, you think, how many of you really, with a show of hands, believe that we're going to miraculously see the dollar start to gain in value? We're going to start to see our purchasing power get much, much stronger, and your way of life, your standard of living is going to be great. You think that's going to happen here? They got 80% of you right now living paycheck to paycheck. They got people here who can't make ends meet. They got personal debt, household debt, consumer debt, all more than anyone's ever burdened they've ever carried. You think that's getting any better anytime soon? It isn't. Okay. You think exporting every freaking illegal alien in this nation is going to make a big difference with regard to that, or your pocketbook, or inflation, or anything else? How about no? You're being deceived yet again. Imagine my shock. But you and I, we're going to see through all that. We're going to buy the market. We're going to buy every dip that comes along, every single one, as long as this trend continues. We're going to buy every dip in commodities as long as this dip continues. We're going to buy every dip in cryptocurrencies as long as this continues. You understand? They're giving us a gift here, people. And I can promise you, I'm not letting it get by me. And the only question is, what are you going to do about it? All right, look, that's kind of where we are. And I think I covered what I wanted to talk about. Now, I promised that I would answer some questions for all of you here before we get out of here. Is there any? Yes, it's politics. Exactly. It's all a deception. It's a grand deception on an inconceivable scale. But look, we've been told about this before. Did you realize that we've made our own bed here? We've done this. It's really us. By allowing central banks to assume power. I mean, they're the government right now. Once they had control of the financial system, once we left the gold standard, and now it became their product, debt, that they issue to the world, they're laughing. Do you think there's one single central banker on this planet who has your best interest in mind? You think guys like this have your best interest in mind? Really? All they're concerned about is making their multi-billionaire friends even richer than they are now. And where they're getting that wealth? Right out of you. You. Yeah, that's where they're getting it from. Just count on these things. That's why we need to take action. We can play this game too. We don't need to be a multi-billionaire hedge fund manager because we're in all the right spots already. And we're going to get ourselves in better spots moving forward. Count on it. Count on it. We can't be beaten. We can't be beaten. We're freaking invincible, in my view. And we need more people, okay, on our team. More lions. You're all lions now to join this pride. And together, like I said, we're making a difference here. All right, here's a question. Greg, how can the bond yield spike? Eventually, we're going to get a sell-off in the debt market, and it's going to happen by their own hand. The Federal Reserve is buying all the debt. The Federal Reserve and central banks around the world are managing the debt market to the highest possible order at this point. It's going to be collectively by the hand of central banks, which allows the debt market to melt down. Right now, every effort, this is a great question. Right now, every effort you can think of, dream about, fantasize about is being done right now as central banks are buying it all. That's their goal. You know this. All of you know this like the back of your hand. The goal of every central bank is to own it all, to buy it all. And what they're doing is they're using their only product. Again, we hear about Federal Reserve tools all the time, tools. You know what I'm talking about here? The Fed Chair Powell, who Trump will allow, thank you, please, he must love him. I guess he was appointed, wasn't he, by Trump too? I think, am I wrong on that? Anyway, Trump loves him. He can finish his, of course, is going to be allowed to finish his destruction of the United States of America. Of course, you know how this works. I was just going to say something so vilely bad about Powell, but I'm not going to because I'm going to be a better person right now. But anyway, indeed, central banks have one product and one only. That is debt. They manipulate it. And the biggest manipulation we're seeing right now is the issuance of debt through one door and then they buying it back through another door. This revolving mechanism is massively inflationary. When did Trump tell you that? Oh, he hasn't. Oh, wow. I wonder why. Right, Mitch? Mitch knows again what I'm talking about. But anyway, it'll be by their hand. We don't get to choose when. I'll tell you when it's going to happen. When they have, right now they got 78%. I said 80, but it's 78% of the American people who are living paycheck to paycheck. Loan default skyrocketing across the board. This mark-to-market accounting that's going to be allowed by the banks here, which they're probably doing already here. When they're done creating slaves to the current system is when they will issue in their new system and they will allow the implosion of the debt market. What they need, Ines, thank you. Exactly, man. We are on the same page, you and me. What did I tell you? What did I tell you just about a month ago? I told you which companies to buy. Was I right? Yeah, I think I was. Imagine my show. You got to be a rocket scientist, people. Anyway, when they're ready to pull the plug is when you know when they have a lock on it. When they need an outcry on a scale that's going to be biblical. Again, problem, reaction, solution. It's always the same thing. Dependency on the current system will make people dependent on the new system. When the new system, which is systematically being deconstructed, has brought enough people to their knees, and there's not enough yet, quite obviously. There's not enough suffering. Once suffering reaches a fever pitch, when we see more events like violence in the streets here, okay, because that's where this is going, pandemonium. Once that happens, they're going to bring down the system at just the opportune time. And that's when they issue, hey, don't worry. We have a solution for all of you. I wouldn't be surprised if this happens under Trump. The setup just looks like that to me, because the corporate agenda is going to be fulfilled. The mega institutions, see all those backdoor private meetings between the Bidens and, of course, Wall Street and Trump, and, of course, the Wall Street insiders. I wish I was a fly on the wall in one of those meetings that we're not allowed to be privy to. Could you imagine the American people, our commander-in-chief, private door, backdoor meetings with, what do you think they're doing in there? Satanic rituals? That would be my bet. Yeah, that's what they're doing. Eating children, possibly. Then they come out and put their masks on and tell you how great they are and how much they're going to save you, because you need them. You need these people to make your life just beautiful. You can't make that stuff up, man. You can't make it up. Anyway, that was a great question, but yeah, it'll end up coming down at the time they want. Okay, when there's enough people that are dependent on the system, and they're almost there. They got 78% of the people living paycheck to paycheck. Maybe when they get 90%, and then there's going to be the blame game. Watch how this is going to play out as we move forward and things continue to deteriorate. You're going to hear, of course, the people that are too blind to see, oh, this is not Trump's fault. This is Biden's fault. Oh, this is whatever fault they could come up. Oh, it's because they're so against Trump, they won't allow him to implement his policies. That's what we're going to hear. Just be ready for that, okay? But it's all nonsense. It's all people who are just so indoctrinated into whatever paradigm they have. They can't see. They can't see straight. They can't think straight. And unfortunately, these people are going to suffer the most. It's really the truth. It really, really is. Favorite cryptos, people, I'm going to tell you right now. I own a bunch of cryptocurrencies, different ones. My largest holding is Bitcoin. My largest holding for a very long time has been Bitcoin. And the fact that Trump has said repeatedly he's the Bitcoin president. He's targeting Bitcoin for a reason. He hasn't said anything else that I know of. Maybe he has said crypto president, but he said Bitcoin many times. Let me tell you who owns vast amounts of Bitcoin. This guy, the possibly new George Soros protege here, billionaire hedge fund manager Scott Bessent. A lot of Bitcoin. As does the VP, a lot of Bitcoin. Trump himself, a lot of Bitcoin. Count on it. It's kind of interesting. Anyway, that's kind of where I stand with that. And with regard to the BRICS, let's talk about BRICS a little bit real quick. Okay, I got a lot of questions about that. You do realize that the BRICS are already working towards their digital currency. There's no way out of this. Okay, we, the people of this world, are going to be forced into a 100% tokenized digital system. And there is not one thing that you or I can do about it. That's where we're going. This is all about control. And we've given that up. We've again, people are instead of putting their faith in themselves, they put their faith always in the wrong places. If you look back on history, as far back as you want to go, okay, his story, whatever. Look back on history, you will see the downfall, the millions, the tens of millions of people who have been led to the slaughter by so-called people, man gods, people who have put their faith in the wrong place. It's very unfortunate, but that's what we're seeing here, and it's a grand illusion. Be live. I love that, Joe. That's a spot on, people. What do you guys think? You know, I've been meaning to ask you this Vance guy. You guys on the same page? You like him? You don't like him? I've had a lot of people write to me about what they think, and I wasn't even going to mention this, but from what I get out of all of you who write to me pretty much every day, and unfortunately I really can't look through all my emails, impossible, but it looks like a lot of people mostly don't like the guy and don't think he's a good guy over there. And I can't tell you enough. I don't know. I think I told you my position with regard to a VP, they're impotent. Impotent. They don't do a damn thing. They're a figurehead. They sit there and laugh and smile and tug on the they tug on the commander in chief here, and that's all they do. And maybe they kind of have a fluffer status. I don't know. Maybe something along those lines. But that's kind of where I stand, people. And exactly, I don't know him either. So he could be the nicest guy on the face of the earth. I don't know. But I'm just going by what I heard from. And like I said, I don't think it matters. I said they could, Trump could have chose a farm animal. It probably wouldn't make much difference. I think it's an impotent position. I don't know. That's just kind of my take on it. Anyway, you guys and girls want to cover anything else before I go here? I got some in my eye. Excuse me. Oh, man. You know what happened to me recently? And I'm going to tell you guys and girls. I've had a posterior vitreous detachment. Do you know what that is? I was in medicine for 20 years. This is a self-diagnosis, but I know what's wrong with me. I've seen this. It's very common in people that enter, my stage of life or my age here. It's age-related, and it's an issue where there's a fluid in the back of the eye. The vitreous humor kind of pulls off. It contracts as we get older, pulls off the retina, and it unfortunately gives you a distortion in your vision. You see like flashes of light, especially at nighttime. And I'm just trying to get used to it. And you get like floaters. I've already had floaters for a while, but this is a big one, man. It's bad. Unfortunately, nothing I can do about it. Yeah, it's very common. It's a common thing. But I look at it as a milestone. Instead of getting all upset about it, I have reached the milestone, and that's okay. Anyway, that's kind of it, people. Let's call it here. Honestly, for now, I think this video has gone kind of long here. I think we've covered this. No drag racing today, man. Unfortunately, it got rained out. I had the Copo already. It's on the trailer, ready to go. But Showtime got rained out. However, if any of you guys and girls are around, I'm going to be at Bradenton tomorrow as long as it don't rain. And I'm going to do some racing there. If you come by, please do say hello. Okay. You can't miss my car. It's red and white, red and black. It says 350 supercharged on it. You can't miss it. Anyway, I hope to see some of you there, honestly, people. Yeah, I can still see the tree. You're gonna laugh. This is a question here. Can you still see the tree? I was worried about that. I was like, I hope I can still get my best light on a pro tree, 0.02 on a pro tree. That's pretty darn good. I mean, and I was proud of it. And we'll see what this does here. Again, I'll get used to it. Apparently, your brain kind of tunes it out. My brain can tune out a whole lot of things. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah, I think Andrew will be there tomorrow. He'll be there. It'll be cool. Someone's asking about the Tesla. My buddy Andrew with the Tesla. People, look, you are all great, and I can't stress this enough. How much I love you. You're all such a part of me, this family we've built, and I'm proud of that, honestly. And I'm more proud of the fact that we're making a positive difference in the world and cut through the nonsense. And I understand some of you it's impossible to do. So I want to hear from you. You want to see this guy as Treasury Secretary? You think this guy's going to have your best interest in here? You like George Soros? George Soros protege? I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I don't think this should be in our best interest. I really don't. Anyway, that's going to be it, people. I am kind of out of here. Love all of you again. We're going to see each other in the morning. And until we meet again, what am I going to say? Let's do this together. Take care of yourselves and take care of each other. That's it. All right. See you in the morning.